I'm often asked, what is white label? And in particular, what is white label pay-per-click? So I want to talk to you a little bit about that and what it is and what it means in 2018. So let's start with what white label generally is. White label is really simple. It's buying something from a third party and selling it as your own. Imagine you buy a tin of beans in a white package, and you put your own logo and branding on it, and you sell it as your brand of beans. It's as simple as that. In terms of digital agencies, it usually means one of two things, and possibly both. It can be buying a service from a third-party white label provider and then selling that service as your own. So for example, white label pay-per-click. You contract with a third party to provide the service for you, but then you sell it to your client as your service. Or it can be software or a platform quite commonly as well, where you will pay a third party to use their software, which is already built out, already developed, already has the features that you need to work with your client in it, and you perhaps put it on a domain of your own, and you put your logos on it, and you present it to your client as your software. Both of those things are white labeling, and you may find that you have a combination of both of them going in your business. The point is, the service is delivered to the client under your brand. Now, one thing to understand is it's different to hiring a subcontractor. Hiring a subcontractor effectively is just a means of making an internal hire. It's an hourly person rather than a full-time person, for example. So it's different. It's not the same thing. A white label service provider is somebody who takes their service and provides it as a professional outside of your organisation rather than within it. Now, one thing to note about white label is your clients are generally not aware that you are using a white label service. It's very unusual for an agency to tell their clients that they're using a white label service provider or a white label platform. Generally, white label means exactly that. It means that the third party piece of what's going on happens without the client ever knowing. As far as the client's concerned, they are paying you to provide the service, you are providing the service. They don't know how that service is delivered. As far as they're concerned, it's you and your team. And with a white label relationship, it's not very different from a referral. You own the client relationship. We see some situations where an agency will pass through a contact to a client to another agency who provide a service that they don't. That's not white labeling. If they hand off a referral, that's not white label. White label, it's your client, your relationship. You might provide 3 different services to a client. Let's say, for example, search engine optimization, pay-per-click, and reputation management. You may do 2 of those in-house and the 3rd use a white label service provider for it. You still own the client relationship for all 3 services. It's your client, nobody else's. As far as the white label service provider is concerned, you are their customer, you are the person that they will invoice your agency, not the client. They never have that direct contact with the client at all. So, when it comes to you working with white label, you should be able to make sure that it's highly profitable for you. Your white label service provider will always have a price list of services that you can make sure are compatible with your business. So if you're going to use a white label service provider, make sure you have that information up front. Make sure that you are building profit into your business. If you've got a price list, you can adjust it, you can work it through really, really simply. And also, one of the great things about working with a white label service provider is the predictability it gives you. You know what your cost is going to be to service a client. You'll know that your employees aren't going to mess up and have to spend extra time and extra cost doing something a second time, because even if there is extra cost or there is extra issue, that's your white label service provider's problem, not yours. As far as you're concerned, your cost for service provision for your client is fixed, so you can, with a great deal of certainty, grow your business. And the other thing is, it's scalable. A good white label service provider will not have a resource limitation. They will be able to scale. So you can grow your business as fast as your sales process and your sales team enable you to do so. Your growth is not staff restricted, it isn't recruitment restricted, it isn't internal resource restricted, it's unlimited providing you can sell. So it's a great way to grow at really low risk, but grow as quickly as you want to grow. Now, one of the ways you can use white label is to round out a service offering. So if you're an SEO specialist, white label pay-per-click. If you're a pay-per-click specialist, white label SEO. So your clients can come to you for multiple services. Many agencies I know want to round out their service offering and make it more complete. A, because you can make more money that way by charging for multiple recurring services, but B, to avoid other agencies getting involved in that client relationship and trying to steal the client from you. So by rounding out your service with a good quality white label service provider, not only do you increase your profits, you also protect your client relationships. So it's worth thinking about that. You can also, though, use them to win new relationships or to prop up relationships. If you think about this, you might find that you're working in a market which is relatively competitive or has a longer lead time. If you can white label a service that will typically sell faster, you can win more clients more quickly and then grow them and sell them into your main core services, and all the time do it profitably. It's a great way to think about it. It's profitable lead generation, profitable growth for the actual service you want to sell. White label allows you to do that. Now, as we move through 2018 and beyond, one of the things that we're seeing is that the world is moving more and more towards big data sets and analysis, deep data mining, artificial intelligence. All these buzzwords that we hear at the moment are really happening. And one of the things that means is that increasingly, as markets get more competitive, as they get more saturated, the need to have big data about a market, to have proven models in a particular market or a vertical or a niche, wherever you're working, becomes more and more apparent. You need those data sets, you need that analysis, you need that proof to have a competitive advantage in a market. For a small agency working independent, that's a really hard thing to get, because quite often you may be working with a handful of clients. You don't have the market breadth, you don't have the market knowledge to be able to do that deep data mining and rich data enhancement. A good white label provider with experience in the markets that you're serving should be able to be your missing link and to provide that big data analysis, to have the proof, to have the insights that you can't acquire for yourself. So even if you're fulfilling in-house today, as we move forward and we go into 2018 and 19 and beyond, have on your horizon that at some point there will become a good time where the scale of data you can get access to from a good white label partner could be the difference between your business struggling to grow and growing exponentially. Don't miss the opportunity.